they had a situation in there. Two women got on the bus, and I thought they sat down, and the bus driver kept on stopping and let the other people's on. And the other woman got up and said, "Come on, let's sit in the back." The other woman got quiet. She said, "Matter of fact, let's get off the bus." And then she got in the bus couldn't close the door because she had her hand in the door in the back. Then she used the words, she said, "Damn it, get up, that's my daughter." And then when she said that, Martin Luther King came into me, because the woman that she was saying, "Damn it," that was her. She looked like she about 25 years old, but she's only about 13 or 14. And I didn't know she had a baby. And then the woman, the baby started talking to her. "We're not gonna have this today. You're not gonna." I said, "Wow." Then the woman, that's when she left the bus and left, and then the woman started, crocodile tears come out of the little lady. Then I said, "Wait a minute, stop the bus." Because they said it's a man now going to Missouri. I think they're gonna refuse her as a man, gonna beat up them, the kind of women you don't beat up. A black woman like that. Almost, and then after that, she got off the bus, and the time she got off the bus, other bus driver hit the same bus I was on and almost knocked us down the back on that. And they stopped, but they didn't. I said, "Man, keep going. Y'all doing that uptown stuff." But when they jumped on black folks barbecuing with them tongues and stuff, and don't check into that. It should be on the film. Nobody, and Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson bit the dust about 5 days ago, and nobody's saying nothing about that. And like, man, and talking about, and King supposed to have been. See what America real made out of. New York.
Thank
you
you.
And Trump up there.
Madam Clerk, the next speaker.
Next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Good evening. We have the GLEWA thing, rate increase. Have any of you all read the contract between GLEWA and Flint, so that we would know for sure what all that contract detail and how they can raise our rates? Because over the weekend I looked at it, and on page 4 and 5 of the MOU states that for the water and sewer system operated by GLEWA, each system as a whole is assumed to experience revenue requirement increases of not more than 4% for each of the first 10 years under authority management. The rate and percentage increases for different customers may vary in order to meet the specific revenue requirements. And then on here also, it states that notification of charges as soon as possible in the charge making process. GLEWA shall provide information on proposed charges in the draft data and information used in the calculation of proposed charges in a format that will enable customer to assist in the charge making process not less than 30 calendar days prior to the hearing required by Act 279. GLEWA shall provide customer with written notice of proposed charge and the underlying data used to calculate the charges. GLEWA shall meet with the customer to review the charges and the data. Have they done any of this? Do y'all know? Why do we sit back and allow people to keep on doing things, and our council and our mayor isn't asking, what is that 4%? Can they take it higher than 4%? Because they have charged, I remember y'all gave $2 million to offset the last time they raised the rates. So are we reading these contracts to find out if they can honestly do that? And have they sat down with you all to tell y'all why they are taking the charges up? And before I sit down, I just want y'all to know, Dr. Key, I have worked alongside him. He have been down to Washington numerous times. One time he was down there while I was down there. He gets the job done. He works with the youth. They videoed a group of us before they actually do what they are supposed to do with what they have. But it's not Gleewa that we should be watching, it's you all, as far as rate increase, because Gleewa sells us water 1,000 cubic feet, 7,480 gallons. The city of Flint charges us for 748 gallons. That's a difference right there. The city is who we need to talk to. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
The next speaker is David Garden.
Hello, Councilman. I'm here today to speak on behalf of Ms. Geraldine Redmond. I see that she's up to, you guys want her to be removed from the board of Flint Housing. Let me tell you something. You got to know Flint Housing. You have to be in there. I've been there 40-something years at the Flint Housing Commission, and she has worked diligently at the Flint Housing Commission. She did not steal any money. Mr. Harold Entz, before he left, and the lawyer left, when they left, that's when they put it out there that she got the money. But before they left, they fired the one who was handling the money. And Ms. Redmond could not get the money unless Entz approved it. And what she spent the money on is the stuff they have once a year. They have something once a year, and she had the mayor there speaking. She had everybody there speaking. And Ms. Redmond turned in every receipt that she had. She tell the people when they go buy something, you can't buy it with food stamps and bring her a receipt. It had to show that you spent the money on what you spent it on. And she gave the receipts to them. Now, what happened to them when Mr. Instam left? Everything, the computer was wiped clean. So nobody knows what happened. So now you got new people in housing. You got Mr. David that's in housing. How do you pay a man $200 and something thousand a year and then give him a contract for 5 years more and he only been there a year? How do you do that? And now he's asking for $55,000 extra. How do you do that? Because you got people that's on the board that don't know what they're doing. And that's a shame. So you guys are going to vote to pull her off the board? Shame on you. It's wrong. So I think you should look at the board first before you go do that. All right? That's what you need to do. Look and see what's really going on in public housing. Because right now, I'm going to ask for a hearing, and not downtown Detroit, but in Washington, to have someone come down and look into all of this matter. Because it's a shame that's what's going on in the Flint Housing Commission. You're going to give him money, and when he's making more than the mayor's making, do you know that? And you're going to give him, all he has is 5 units. That's it. Because Mr. N sold the other ones in public housing. So you guys need to check your records, check everything before you decide you want to pull somebody off the board. Because pulling her off the board, you're going to be in bad shape. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
The final speaker for this meeting is Audrey Muhammad.
Good evening. I'm Audrey Muhammad, 2nd Ward. First, I'd just like to be thankful that I'm here. Came off of a very beautiful weekend in Detroit celebrating Savior's Day with a keynote address. Let's make our community a decent and safe place to live. Go back and listen to the lecture in oi.org. Guarantee you won't be surprised. Find some ways that we can do some things that we can make Flint a decent and safe place to live. But I would like to bring up about the Gleewa meeting that's coming up this Wednesday down in Detroit at 1 o'clock. Many people may or may not be informed about the meeting at this time. It's at 1. If you could be there, it would be best. But if you can't, there's also Zoom. And I will give you, if you all have pencil, want to write down the meeting ID, but we would like to ask for the city to at least post it up on their website. The meeting ID on Zoom at one is 896-4326-7201, and the passcode is 268980. I'll repeat it in a few minutes, in another minute before I come off. But it is important for us, as stated before, that we all show up at some point in time, or at least write a letter. And I think you can submit your letter or your concerns by tomorrow to GLEWA. Our water should not be increased. Every resident in Flint should have been notified about this meeting. This is important to the residents here because we will have to foot the cost of whatever the increase is. We know everything is going up, inflation, but every resident should be notified, hey, this is going to impact your household. Your water rates are going up. We get notified about the taxes, and when there's a change in property tax value and things like that. These are very important, and it seems as if maybe many of us are out of the loop because many of us did not know about it, but this is very important. So we are meeting up, we are going down on Wednesday. It's at 1:00. It's at the GLEWA building that's located at 735 Randolph Street in Detroit. It's not only affecting Flint residents, it's affecting the Wayne County, Oakland County, Macomb County, because they all buy their water from GLEWA. Before I get 7201, and the passcode is 268890. Sorry about that.
make sure that I give every single council person one of these and put it on the record that you have received these so we can move forward when we have the water discussion. Furthermore, we have African American History Celebration taking place this Thursday at the Flint Public Library. This is the time where we're going to celebrate Black scholars, Black excellence, and we're going to allow the students that have won first, second, and third place prizes from different schools in the city, and also, well, I'll say serving the city, let me be clear, because we have a lot of scholars that attend out of the city schools, such as Westwood Heights. We also have I believe Madison Academy. They are just to name a few. So we're going to display art from Burton Glen. We're going to have a nice time, refreshments included. So this is going to take place at the Glory Coast Library. It's 5:30 Thursday, 5:30. So come on out and help us conclude Black History Month, because this body, we voted to have Black History Month celebrated every February. It is by resolution approved by this body. So we want to make sure that we maintain good, that we continue to celebrate that. And in addition to, we were talking about attending the meeting in Detroit. So I'm looking forward to being in attendance there, not just via Zoom, but physically being in the building. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other council response? Seeing no movement, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Accept the motion on.
Second.
Motion by the Councilwoman in 7th Ward, seconded by Councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Are there any separations?
Yes. I want to separate the resolution for North Flint.
That was the add-on?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's all for me.
Okay. Are there any other separations?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
I would like to separate 260070, options for removal of Geraldine Redmond, and 250414-T, working conditions on the ordinance.
Okay. Any other separations? I think we,
Mr. Chair,
Madam Clerk,
the
Oh,
street administrator.
260054 needs to be separated as well.
Thank you.
Sorry, Madam Clerk, I meant to do that.
okay, any other separations? Seeing no movement, we have separated Resolution 260054, designation street administrator, 260070, consideration of removal, Flint Housing Commission, Geraldine Redmond, 250414, Code Amendment Ordinance, Chapter 35, Personnel Article 5, Working Conditions. So in the consent agenda, we have 260052, the Grant Burns State Crisis Intervention Program.
Mr. Chair, did you say add-on number 1 as well?
I'm sorry, add-on
Okay.
number 1 was separated. Thank you.
Okay.
So at this time, accept a motion.
That's already
For-
been, we just vote.
Okay, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, roll call on the acceptance of the consent agenda.
Okay, Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett.
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The consent agenda has passed and will move to council. We'll now take a look at Resolution 260054.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to send 260054 to council.
There's a motion to send 260054 to council by the councilwoman in the 4th ward, seconded by the councilman in the 1st ward.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to amend Resolution 260054 with the language and resolution provided by the city clerk prior to this meeting.
There has been a motion to accept or amend the resolution to 260054.1 by the councilwoman in the 4th ward, seconded by the councilwoman in the 7th ward. Is there a motion?
Discussion.
No, I'm sorry, discussion.
Madam Chair.
Yes, councilwoman in the 7th ward.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Actually, there's no discussion on the motion to amend. It goes straight to a vote, and then you make a motion on the point 1 for discussion.
Right.
Okay, so we are voting then on the motion to amend?
Correct.
Roll call for the motion to amend,
Dr. Lewis?
2.1.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. That motion has been amended.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to
Councilwoman
make a
7th ward.
motion to send Resolution 260054.1 designation street administrator to council.
There's been a motion to send the amended 260054.1 to council by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, seconded by the councilman in the 1st ward. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the 7th ward.
Thank you. I just wanted to read for the record what has changed this to a point 1. Just says resolution for the designation of street administrator by the city administrator, section 13(9) of Act 1 Public Acts of 1951, provided that each incorporated city and village to which funds are returned under the provisions of this section, that the responsibility for street improvements, maintenance, and traffic operations work, and the development, construction, or repair of off-street parking facilities, and construction or repair of street lighting shall be coordinated by a single administrator to be designated by the governing body, who shall be responsible for and shall represent the municipality in transaction with the state transportation department pursuant of this act. Mayor Sheldon A. Neely recommends that Clyde Edwards be designated as the street administrator for the city of Flint. It is resolved that the Flint City Council designates the city administrator as street administrator for the city of Flint for the purpose of representing the city in official state transportation transactions. This just means that when it comes to MDOT things, Mr. Edwards, who has previously been our designated signer already, or our designation of a street administrator, basically acting in that capacity. And we have, I believe, already, Madam Clerk, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was already voted on once before, and he was designated the street administrator, correct?
I thought that there was, I sent supplemental information. He's been named as other designated signers, however, not
Understood.
particularly as street administrator. I did send the samples for the other individuals, but the resolution was drafted in the same format.
Correct, perfect, thank you. And so because MDOT already recognizes Mr. Edwards, the city administrator, in this capacity already, and they already work with him, and he's already been able to sign on some things, I am going to go ahead and support this so that we can keep the flow of business going as it has been going. Again, this is simply for MDOT contracts, transactions, whatever we want to say, I can't think of the correct word for it right now, but this is strictly for MDOT and dealing with them and contractually with them, which is something that he has already been doing in his role as city administrator. We are just doing what our due diligence and what we are supposed to be doing pursuant to Public Acts of 1951. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in round one regarding resolution 26005 4.1?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the Fifth Ward.
Mr. Chair, through you to our clerk, Clerk Davina.
Madam Clerk.
I think I remember voting on this, but do you remember the, when this was voted on before? How long has Mr. Edwards served as the street administrator?
So the resolution that you adopted specifically for Mr. Edwards was in a different capacity. It was actually as a signee for water projects, water pollution control, and things like that. The last time that you voted on a street administrator, it was for Rob Magaha.
Okay,
And then before that, it was John Daly. I did send those samples to you over the weekend.
so, okay. All right, so basically, what I'm hearing too is that it is the job of the DPW. So now my question, Mr. Chair, to anyone that can answer, Mr. Edwards.
Mr. Edwards, if you would come forward.
Mr. Edwards, I'm gonna ask you a question while you walk in. So when are we planning to get a DPW? Because you're wearing a lot of hats here.
Through the chair to the councilwoman. Job's always been posted. I mean, it's not as though we're trying to keep those roles. It's a matter of people applying and qualified people applying in the process. But really, at this point, there hasn't been anyone applied at this point.
So you gotta take on all these
I'm the
responsibilities.
fallback
Yeah,
until,
because you're the city administrator.
that's right. I'm the fallback until somebody fills the roles.
Okay. Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, do we have a, I don't know.
I would say to you concerning that matter, that is the reason for the composition of 2 deputies. We never had that before, but with the revolving door of people coming and going, it was my idea to say, hey, if I'm going to sit in that seat, let me get 2 deputies that can handle both sides of all of DPW. And so that's why you had the young gentleman that came up here, Marwan. He's working with the 2 plants. There's been interviews for the other side. And so that's what's happening now. These are competent people that can help but they weren't people who wanted to apply for the director's position.
Okay, so let me ask another question. Why such a high turnover rate? What's going on? You said something about a revolving door. What's going on? Why? I mean, we've lost so many people during this second term alone.
I couldn't tell you about all positions, but I'll just say with that DPW position, for whatever reason, pressures of the job, whatever the circumstances are. In one case, I know it was family related. The person was moving from this side of the state to another side of the state. So they wanted to be closer for family, and that's why they ended up leaving the position.
We've lost several people here in the city, and I'm just wondering why such a high turnover rate? But thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Seeing no movement, any discussion in the second round? Thank you. Thank you, sir. We'll now take a roll call vote on moving resolution 26054.1 to council. Madam Clerk?
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis? Is not in. The vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. 260054.1 is moved to council. Now moving on to 260070, consideration of removal, Flint Housing Commission, Geraldine Redmond. Okay. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
make a motion to send to council.
Thank you. There's a motion to send 260070 to council. Councilwoman in 4th Ward, is there a second?
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, I'll support that motion.
Thank you. Supported by the councilwoman in the 5th Ward. Wow. Is there any discussion?
No. We have to have discussion. It's the normal.
You did say support, never mind.
Any discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilwoman in 4th
You know,
Ward.
I know that Ms. Burns sent us, had us forwarded on Friday, a list of information, but I have not had a chance to review that at this point due to family commitments and other items. And so I'm not prepared to vote in the affirmative on this until I get a chance to review that information. I'm done. I release my time.
Thank you. Any more discussion in the first round?
Yes, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I do see that we have the president and the vice president of the Housing Commission here. Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to speak to those members of the Housing Commission here with us
Okay.
today.
If they would come forward. And if you would
Because
introduce yourselves, please.
I want to give you guys an opportunity to say what you need to say because you're here, so.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ashley Harris, Vice President of Operations at the Flint Housing Commission.
And I'm Trudell Kennedy, President Board of Commissioners.
Okay.
We saw that this resolution was on the agenda tonight and wanted to come and answer any questions that you all have.
Now, I do believe that it was asked, because when I'm absent, I do listen to the council meetings. Did someone get in touch with you? Did the clerk call you guys, or you just happened to see this?
No, we decided to come up on our own.
Okay, you didn't get a call?
No.
Okay.
Requests for, or point of information.
Your point of information. Go ahead.
Yes. So the clerk did reach out. I'm not sure if they just didn't get her messages yet, but she did reach out.
Okay. I just want it on record. Do you have anything to say further? Because I understand that you guys have already voted as a commission to remove Ms. Redmond?
Yes, there was a vote about 6 months ago for her to be removed off the Board of Commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
And that information was sent to the mayor's office and this body at that time. So the movement has been log jammed somewhere. I don't know where it is, but that information was brought to this body.
Okay, do you remember the date?
I don't have the date on me. I think it was in June, to be exact, yes.
Oh,
June
wow,
timeframe.
that's been a while ago.
Yes, it has been.
Okay, and so Ms. Redmond has been still attending those meetings
Yes, she has.
and sitting up on the stand?
She's been sitting on the stand. Sometimes she's there via Zoom.
Oh, okay, because I don't understand. I guess since she's been removed through you guys, I mean, she's still a resident, so she can come to the meetings because the meetings are open, right?
The Board of Commissioners doesn't have the authority to remove Mrs. Redmond.
Right.
People who have the authority to remove Ms. Redmond is this body here in the mayor's office.
Okay.
We don't have that authority. We requested that she be removed, and it hasn't happened. So,
Okay.
So why?
Okay, all right. So we do have this resolution, but I want to get more information. And I see I have a minute and 7:16. You have anything to say, Ms. Ashley?
Regarding the reason for the removal?
Yes.
Yes, so there was an audit conducted in 2024 that found that there were some missing funds that were not accounted for the previous year. And that would be the main reason that the Board of Commissioners voted for the removal, because it did affect our audit. It was an audit finding for that year. We have been working to close that out, and now it is just affecting our daily operations. Where, as you all know, having trouble securing an auditor for this current year. And a lot of it has to do with the audit where the funds were not accounted for.
And I guess you guys have not received the receipts that you need to.
Correct. We have not received all of the receipts for the total amount.
Okay, who authorized? I'll come back and ask questions during my second time.
Any other discussion in round one?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the second ward.
Thank you. So looking at this resolution, I have some concerns. The first concern is we're talking about the media. This resolution, and so what council member drafted this resolution? Madam Clerk, through you, Mr. Chair, to the clerk.
Madam Clerk.
The resolution was drafted by Attorney Gurley.
Oh, Attorney Gurley? Okay, got it. And so I'm looking, and this resolution, it states, and I want to make sure that I'm fair, it says that the allegations come from the news media. And that's a little concerning because the news don't always get it right. And so if we're just trying to remove her off of what the news media said, I'm not doing that because that's not fair at all. Now what we can do, I hear that Mr. Kennedy said that, I'm sorry, did you want to speak, Ashley? Okay, I'm sorry. And so what I do know that, Mr. Kennedy, you said that you sent something in June. I searched my inbox. I did not see it.
Well, I could send it again. I definitely sent it to you guys. And I think the bigger picture that nobody's looking at is now we can't get an audit right now, which is due on the 25th of March. So if that audit doesn't happen and we fall back into trouble status, you won't have to worry about Redmond, me, or anybody else because we can go into receivership.
Request for information.
Understood.
Your request.
Are you aware, I think that there is someone willing to do their audit. I believe we were told that they have someone willing to do their audit.
No, I was not aware of that.
Point of information.
So thank you.
Your point?
I actually provided that information directly from Raymond, who has submitted a proposal for performing their audit for 2025.
Okay.
The Housing Commission did receive a proposal from a firm. However, the cost was over double what a normal, at the high end of what an audit should cost.
Okay, thank you. So, so what I'm reading again, it should state that, that the board had a vote and that they all voted in an affirmative to remove Mrs. Redmond. That should be the grounds for removing her, not because the news media said it. That's crazy. And then, let's go ahead and talk about, slipped my mind. Okay, so will this put us at legal risk? Because through you, Madam, Mr. Chair, to the attorney, under what grounds can we remove a board member?
Through the chair to the second ward council person. The request for the resolution to remove Ms. Redmond was made by the 8th ward council person. So I have not been provided with documentation from the Flint Housing Commission outside of any media reports. And then if you will look at the resolution that was drafted under the Housing Facility Act of the state of Michigan, it gives the authority to remove a Flint Housing Commission member through the recommendation of the mayor with the approval of city council, which city council would have to follow its normal procedures for holding a public hearing, where it would be published at least 2 weeks before the hearing. There would have to be rules set as to how that public hearing would be conducted. And additionally, under the Flint Housing Commission's bylaws that were adopted, I believe last April, their bylaws state that city council alone has the authority to remove a commission member from the Housing Commission.
Okay, so, so what do we go by through you, again, to the attorney? So do we go by their bylaws, or do we go by the charter that talks about having a hearing and so forth?
State statutes also always take precedence over other rules outside of federal law. So in this case, it would be the state law that, seems to be the route that you would have to take.
So that means that we have to go, if we want to do this, we have to pursue with the hearing route?
That you would need a recommendation, and then council would approve or deny that recommendation, and then follow through with a public hearing.
Okay, thank you. So, so now hearing what we heard, I'll go ahead and give the floor to my other colleagues to see what they have to say.
Thank you. Any other discussion in round one?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
for you to the speakers, can you guys, I heard you mention that it's holding up your audit. Can you explain how one board member could potentially be doing that?
So we have an auditor. We have an auditor who has completed our audit for the past 2 years. This year, they informed us that there was a single underlying reason why they would not perform this year's audit. And that's the communication that they provided to us. Yeah.
So it's more or less just trying to find a different firm potentially that could perform.
So we did put out an RFP and we didn't receive any proposals from any firms. And after speaking to our auditor from last year, he made it clear to us that, because the auditors, they communicate with each other, he made it clear to us that we probably wouldn't receive much
Okay, so I have, after we wrap this up, I can give you a couple, firms, numbers that will be potential good candidates for you guys to kind of keep things moving to meet y'all deadline. And then also, I'm like one of my colleagues mentioned, I think I need some more information in regards to this matter. The little bit I do know, to my understanding, Ms. Redmond has been making payments in regards to this matter or some things like that. Is that true?
There was a payment agreement, yes, with Ms. Redmond, and she has been making payments.
She
That's
has been
correct.
making her payments?
Yeah, she has been making payments, but payments doesn't give her leeway to be forgiven for her fiduciary responsibilities to the Housing Commission or the city.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it does. I just wanted to make sure that with the agreement that you guys made,
Yep.
she's being in compliance with
And
that.
the agreement was just so we could close out an audit finding. That was the main reason for the agreement.
All right, thank you. I yield.
Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman in the 7th Ward.
thank you. Mr. Kennedy, while I certainly understand and agree with what you're saying, if all of the findings show what I guess the media is accusing her of, we need like solid proof. I agree with my colleague in the 4th Ward about, one, the information that we were provided, we've not had a chance to take a look at. I agree with my colleague in the 2nd Ward of, we have to do far more due diligence than we saw it in the news. And it's no disrespect to the news or the media. I just think that as a governing body, it makes sense for us to have every bit of information, because what happens in these situations, because be very clear, in addition to the possibility that something went wrong with dollars, right? So we have that end of it, but then we also have to understand and recognize there was a young man who stood up here and said she has 40 years of work in our community, right? And so all things have to be considered of what happened, how it happened, why it happened. Were there others that are also responsible, if she's even responsible? Do you know what I'm saying? And so I think that as big of a problem that this is, the weight of this, it needs to be fully measured, fully studied. We need to have every bit of information that is available. I know my colleague in the 6th Ward talked about the fact that she had to FOIA something. Ridiculous. Because don't come asking us to do something, remove someone, or tell us you want this done, but then tell us the only way we can get information is if we FOIA it or pay for it. Provide the information that we need if a request is being made of us. And so at this time, I would like to make a motion, because we do not have everything that we need, and we're going to hope that we get every single solitary piece of information that we need. I'm going to make a motion to postpone this indefinitely, because we need to figure out some stuff here.
Can I,
I'll second that.
you said
Hold
something.
on, sir. Hold on, sir. There's a motion on the floor to postpone this indefinitely, and I heard it seconded by the councilwoman in the 3rd Ward.
4th.
4th, okay. So go now to roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent, Ms. Mashat.
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent, Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mr. Alamin, Dr. Lewis,
No.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 1 no to postpone indefinitely.
Pardon me?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll now go to add-on number 1, resolution to rescind the resolution 250391.1T and authorize $150,000 in ARPA funds to North Flint investment. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we do what you just read. I was going to repeat it.
Is there a
but-
second?
Is there support?
Have support from the councilman in the first ward. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
I voted against this original resolution, and I'm going to vote against this one as well, even though it is a correction and it did pass council, because I still feel that the no Flint money should be used for this project. And so I'm going to continue to vote no. And I've said it repeatedly and been very consistent since day one, the very first time a resolution came up regarding this, that my residents, I have not received, I actually, after the last vote, I received one phone call in favor of giving them money. But the majority, for all that previous time, not a single phone call supporting giving city money to the North End Food Market or North Flint Food Market was in favor of that. So I'm going to continue to vote no. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman in the seventh ward.
I do want to, thank you. I do want to say, like our colleague in the fourth ward just said, this is something that council has already passed. And so we are simply just making sure that the dollars for the North End Food Market, something that, again, over 200 residents believed in, over 30 some odd churches believed in, that they have tried to have this done for 10 years, and the council has managed to, come on one accord, or at least we had 5 votes to get this moved. What I do not want to do is, now that they're at the finish line, simply because of something clerical, if you will, that now they do not have the opportunity to get this funding that they need to continue doing something that was homegrown here in Flint. It's a co-op that belongs to Flint residents. And so at this time, I just want to, because I understand the fact that Ms. Priestley is not going to support it, and you yourself and Ms. Winfrey Carter are members, so you do support it just in a different way. So at this time, I am going to, so that this does not die, because this correction needs to happen, I'm going to make a motion that we leave it here in special affairs.
There's a motion to leave this add-on number 1 in special affairs made by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, seconded by the councilwoman in the 3rd ward. Madam Chair.
Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Vote is 5 yes, 1 no.
Vote is 5 yes, 1 no to keep the add-on resolution number 1 in special affairs. We are now moving on to the ordinance 250414T, Code Amendment, Ordinance, Chapter 35, Personnel, Article 5, Working Conditions. Is there?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to move 250414-T to council.
There's a motion to move 250414 to council by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, seconded by the councilwoman in the 1st ward. Is there any discussion? Councilwoman in the 7th ward.
I think that
I'm sorry, 4th ward.
It's all right, thank you. I understand. I'm against this resolution at this time. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, we still are in negotiations with unions, And we have settled one contract, and there are several others that are nearing completion. I know that one contract was supposed to be voted on last week or over the weekend, and still voting is going on today. And I don't want to disturb any of the negotiations currently going on. And number two, we've also was told it's going to cost the city close to $500,000. And I have to be concerned about that. So I'm going to continue to vote no on this at this time. If it came back, it might be possible that I will vote in the affirmative, but at this point in time, I cannot support this.
Are you yielding?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Mhm.
I too will not be supporting this at this time, this resolution. And I agree with Councilwoman Priestley. They're in negotiations, you know. I don't try to get in between union matters. I just don't do that. And I just need to make sure that, you know, this is good with the union as well as our finances. And the second thing, I don't appreciate getting letters in my mailbox from whoever the City of Flint Employee Well-Being Caucus. I don't appreciate this. I sit here for the residents to make decisions as far as this city. I'm a trustee, and I got to make sure that the finances is right when I make decisions. So don't send me letters. I'm done, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Yes. So just a couple of things here. The unions the union is actually very much in support of this. I would think that if they're still negotiating, it would make sense to do this now while they're still in negotiation, so that they wouldn't have to go back and start renegotiating if contracts are closed. I mean, to me, that only makes sense to do it while they are still in negotiation, and this is something that they do want as well. I also want to point out that as upsetting as it is, or that it may have been to receive letters, I think that when you have employees who have no other way of reaching us, and the anonymity has to be there because they may be concerned about some possible blowback, that they are reaching out to us in the best way that they can to say, hey, one, we're still here, we're working for this city, and we're helping move things along and get things done daily. And we all know, because we've had this conversation several times, that the pay that we have going on in this city, it's simply not enough, right? Especially when we're thinking about the cost of living and how things are going up. Everything's going up except for the amount of money that they are seeing in their paychecks. So this is an opportunity to say to them, we see the work that you are doing. We understand that other municipalities, other governmental entities around us, they grant their workers these days off. And so for us to, and I'm going to specifically focus on Thanksgiving. So for us to have them come into a building that's not even open to the public, so no public business is being conducted. And we keep talking about cost and what it's going to cost us to do that. It cost us, if you ask me, it costs us more to sit here and have all the lights and everything going, everything running, and then people are not here. This has already been budgeted for. They still, whether they come or not, if they use their PTO, we still have to pay for it. I want to push back on the numbers that were presented to us, because even when we asked about those numbers, there were a lot of caveats that came along with those numbers as well. And so while I do agree that we should hammer down more on those numbers, I don't want us to put out numbers that are not already properly hammered down anyway. I do see the way that this is going, and because I obviously introduced this, so I'm in full support of telling our employees, yes, we recognize the fact that the day after Thanksgiving, this building is closed, There is no city business that is able to occur as far as residents. We're not interrupting that. That yes, Genesee County and other governmental entities give their workers that day off, and City of Flint is among the few that are requiring workers to come in. Yes, we understand that even when we talk about your paychecks and how they look, and the fact that raises are few and far in between around here, that we need to, in some way, shape, or form, show an appreciation for you and your commitment to the city, because we keep talking about high turnover. I know one of the reasons for high turnover is good talent gets snatched by places that can afford said talent. But I see the way that this is going, and I don't want this to be something that dies outside of this committee. I don't want this council to send a message that we're more concerned or upset about letters than we are getting to the bottom of whether or not we can afford to give them this day off after Thanksgiving. I've even offered a compromise because I understand Christmas is a moving holiday. So if my colleagues are still having some concerns about Christmas still being in there, I will offer the caveat that we remove Christmas and simply focus on Thanksgiving. But because I hear my colleagues and they're saying the votes are not there for them right now, I will make a motion to leave this in special affairs. And I will make it my personal mission to make sure that, one, we get correct numbers, and then two, we are able to move forward in a way where we all have all of the necessary information so that the employees can hear us loud and clear with our votes. And hopefully in the end, we will all choose to support the employees at City Hall or wherever they work, but they work for the city. So at this time, I make a motion to leave this here in special affairs.
There's a motion to leave 250414 in special affairs by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st ward. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Yes. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes, I'll leave it in special affairs.
The vote is 6 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 1 no. 250414 is being left here in special affairs.
Mr. Chair, at this time, I know we are supposed to have a special order discussion item, but Councilwoman Burns is not present to lead the special order discussion item. So at this time, I would make a motion for adjournment.
There's a motion for adjournment. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st ward. Madam Chair, roll call vote for adjournment.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no. We are adjourned at 5:50.
How many minutes do we have before council?
If all council members would return to their seats so that we can get the city council meeting started. If all council members will return to their seats so that we can get the city council meeting started. Madam Clerk. The time is now 5:58 on Monday, February 23rd. I hereby call this city council meeting to order. All right, roll call, oh, sorry. Ms. Winfrey Carter. Trying to give her a chance to come.
Okay, Mr. Alamin,
Present.
Dr. Lewis,
Present.
Ms. Johnson,
Present.
Ms. Priestley,
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat,
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett,
Present.
you have 6 members present.
We have 6 members present. Madam Clerk, before we get to the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like the record to reflect that we do have 7 members present. Ms. Winfrey Carter is seated.
It's noted.
It's now time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward, would you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Councilman Alamin, would you please lead us in the prayer blessing? Oh, wait, before we get to the prayer blessing, is there anyone who would like to acknowledge a family who may be grieving or a loved one who has passed away? Councilwoman in the, oh, 1 second, 2nd Ward. Councilwoman in the 5th Ward, then Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Yes, I would like a moment of silent prayer for Mrs. Carla Jones Smith, who passed away. And I think that's it for me right now.
Thank you. Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
I would like to have a moment of silence for Miss Takesha Gardner. Takesha Gardner, a former Flint resident, a former radio personality on 92.7 and 93.7 as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the 3rd Ward.
I'd like to have a special prayer for Lisa Robertson, who lost her brother, and the Brooks family, and that's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing as how there is no one else, I would just like to concur with Ms. Winfrey Carter on the family of Ms. Carla Jones Smith. Councilman Alamin.
Dear Lord, as we gather here today, help us to lead with clarity, compassion, and courage. Grant us the humility to listen, the strength to serve, and the wisdom to choose what uplifts every resident of our city. May we set aside personal differences and work together with respect, integrity, and purpose. Let our decisions reflect fairness, justice, and the well-being of all our community members and residents. Amen.
Thank you. It is now time for the reading of the disorderly person city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Priestley.
I'd like to add a short discussion, possibly 3 minutes, to discuss the bills regarding zoning introduced into the House last week.
Woman Priestley would like to add a 3-minute discussion regarding the many bills added into the Michigan House of Representatives as it relates to, I'll go ahead and order that.
Madam Chair,
Board.
I would also like to put back on the, dealing with the garbage cans.
Order that as well. I just want to, even though Council Ward is a little bit more of a discussion item than Councilwoman in the 4th Ward, that there is always final closing council comments that we never, and it will do, I'm sorry, Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward is 3 minutes.
Did you say with 3 minutes suffice? That's fine.
All right, so we will do 3 minutes for both.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman, Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch where those are supposed to be added, at what point in the agenda?
We can do them. They can just go after, I guess, what, licenses? And that's, the license will probably go with special, with the, I noticed that license is, it's separate from resolutions that may be referred over from special affairs, correct? The license is just the very last thing on the agenda.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So the way that, if you take a look at it, the way that it reads is that the license was something that is going to be referred over from special affairs. And I just want to state for the record that it is different from the items that may be referred over from special affairs, that the license is indeed last just because it's last on our agenda.
It's last on the council agenda.
Perfect. Thank you. All righty. We will now move on to, if there are no more requests for agenda changes and or additions. Perfect. We'll move on to our public hearing, and that is 26004.6, public hearing Baker Street vacation. Public hearing to consider the vacation of Baker Street between Industrial Street and North Street, Flint. Madam Attorney, at this time, if there's anything that you would like to add.
No, this is the public hearing set for this date and time certain on this matter. From Planning and Development here.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So at this time, we will go ahead and start the public hearing. The rules are, if you would like to speak on this matter, this public hearing subject, anyone else that speaks to anything other than hearing?
Hello. Situation. I went Flint, she ain't going for that stuff. And what she says goes. She can write a rule and it sticks. Her colleagues can't put another member off the thing.
Mr. Mitchell,
What?
I need you to focus on the Baker Street vacation for me.
Yeah, Baker Street vacation.
Thank you.
That's just like Baker Street vacation. They just got rid of New Jersey Street, come down on way down on Industrial, and they ain't like it's never resist. You ask questions where it go, but that's where Carolyn McIntyre was born at. And I got a thing about Miss McIntyre. She gave me my first birthday party in the house when I was a little bit. But now, you people's right here, first of all, you people's always talk about, anyway, these uppity people's running the black peoples out of the Flint and DDA and going to Canada and stuff and don't want been to these meetings and leaving the little man in charge. He signing all the MDOT's situation and he get 2 deputies on each side, but he ain't going all the way. And like Vice President, he'll go all the way. Thanks to you, Madam President, but he's a man. He should go all the way. You understand that? And stay tuned, America. I know you're watching, New York Mayor. You keep watching us Flintstones, and you're gonna see how we deal with your neighbor, Donald Trump, for taking the president and his wife out of his own country and trying to get all the dope and all the oil he can and blame it on the Democrats. And America, our element to approve this message.
Thank you. Next, speaker for this public hearing of the Baker Street vacation.
Hello, Council. I'm here basically just to ask for clarification. I know it was posted a while ago that we were going to be discussing 260036.6, which is a public hearing about receiving comments regarding this fiscal year 27 drinking water resolving fund. Although, and I do not see that on the current agenda. Are we still going to be talking about that today? Because it did say that the public hearing for that was going to be for today.
We can ask for a point of clarity from our clerk. Would you like to speak to this public hearing now, though?
No, I just wanted to have clarification.
Okay, I will make sure that when this public hearing is closed, the clerk will speak to it. Thank you. Is there anyone else? I believe Ms. Claire McClinton.
Good evening, Council. Regarding this public hearing on the vacation of Baker Street between Industrial and North Street, I have a question. How does this, or does this impact the brothers and sisters designated property that they fought for with Ashley Capital, asking for a friend? And once again, Mark, he's not even here. Right there. Oh, he just got here. Okay, so I'm just wondering what my original question about that area. And I also want to underline the fact that Mark and Ashley Capital crowd, they not gotten anything that they been turned down for anything that they have wanted? He has not. He can't vote for none of y'all. He don't live here. We want to be treated like Mark. We want to be made special when we come up here and ask for things for our community. And it's no shade on him as a person, but you know, how many times over the years do these corporate people and financial people come up? Have they ever been refused? Going back over the years to General Motors asking for property tax abatement. We have asked for relief on certain issues and they just disappeared. For example, and I'm not going to veer off the subject, but for example, asking for water affordability for the city of Flint. Never got it, never got nothing close to it. So those are my concerns. We have faithfully and generously given privilege to corporate people. And again, Mark, nothing personal. He can't vote for none of y'all. But he can come here and get what he wants for the Ashley project. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the Baker Street vacation?
Yeah, $72 million, what I was always concerned about. Went down a little bit, but how bad do they need Baker Street? Why isn't there any dollar figures with get money for that? As a city, do they need it? Can we get a couple of dollars to knock that $7? Why would we, is there vacating that street they really need? What is with it? Hey, we'll give it to you. Residents that have to pay, or they say, $72 million of our revenue. Important it is, what are you using it for? And can we get a couple of, can we get some revenue back for this Baker Street? But like I said, I'm not against the project of them cleaning it up because they have done a great job in cleaning it up. But for the residents to have to pay for what GM did and filed bankrupt and left the people with the burden of bringing somebody in to clean it up, we should at least try to get some money back the best way we know how. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hi, Mark Quimby with Ashley Capital. I don't have a presentation really on the agenda, so I thought I'd answer just a couple quick things. So this is the vacation of Baker Street that's in between North and Industrial. It's a dead end. It is bordered by Oak Park, our Building 2 and Building 1. This vacation was always part of the site plan approval for Building 2, so it's always been part of that piece. The woman who asked the question about, has anyone ever said no? And the answer is yes. I mean, like, I know that it looks like we get everything we want, but that's not really true. A lot of this is part of negotiation, right? Like when we originally started talking about Building 2, we didn't understand the full breadth and history of Oak Park. And our initial discussion was buying the entire thing and building on the entire park. And it was only through, education from the community to us and through having all those discussions with the community and understanding what Oak Park meant to the city that we understood it being the historic first park, and then worked and negotiated with the city to eventually purchase only a portion of that parcel and rebuild that park at a substantial expense. So even to Arthur's point of like, what did we pay for? Well, we rebuilt Oak Park. And then also as part of the vacation of the street, there are public utilities in that street. And as part of the vacation approval, our negotiation with the city, they wanted us to basically either inspect and reinforce any of the utilities that are in that road prior to vacation at our expense. So that's all been part of the discussion of Building 2 as well. So we really appreciate the partnership with the city. I know that it may look like we get everything we want, but that's because we're moving forward and ultimately the project is proceeding, but how we get there and what it looks like has absolutely been modified. And there's been, give and take throughout that process because ultimately we're trying to be a good neighbor and be, a responsible business in the city of Flint. We appreciate the city's support. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Yes, I'm just kind of confused. I'm all for progress, but sir, if you ever come into this city and want to do anything, you should always check the history. Don't come in and assume just because you see it's vacant that it does not have sentimental value, any kind of value to the residents of Flint. I'm glad that the citizens over there stood their ground and stood up. That was why I was rejected. We have to come in and have more respect for the residents, the history of Flint. Outside partnerships are only welcome if you come in, talk. You could have just asked somebody and they could have gave you the history of what it meant to them and what they were doing over there. Don't take the residents for granted. This is a part of the problem and has been a problem. Respect the residents here. Ask the people over there, what are their concerns over there, even with this new vacated part of the street? Just find out. The residents here do have a voice and they do have concerns. I would just advise you find out that before you start to coming in and making suggestions and asking for things.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the Baker Street vacation? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak to the Baker Street vacation, we'll go ahead and close this public hearing. Madam Clerk, I believe there was a question that was asked. I think you were able to give an answer, but I just want to make sure.
Yes, correct. The public hearing that he was wondering about is for March 23rd.
Thank you. Can you state what that public hearing is?
It is the one for the water projects.
Thank you. It is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips were accepted after the meeting began. Members of the public. Madam Clerk.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. A point of order. A moment of silence for Jesse Jackson. The late Jesse Jackson, the past. Thank you very much, America. Like I say, Martin Luther King, but just like Miss Winfrey Connor would make them laws, just before he was shot in the head and still was living, he was going to make his announcement that he's going to be the president of the United States. But Jesse moved out the way in the nick of time and he got King, and Jesse been silent ever since. I wonder why the man was so silent, talking about nonviolence, but he wanted, when King was out the way, he should have went all the way violent by any means possible. But the any means possible checked Reverend Jackson, because he said, look what we done now. He said, I just found out Michael said, check Michael Jackson. Jackson. That's why he was so quiet. But now, like the Fifth Ward, she got to make the plans when people refuse to get rid of the First Ward, and the council, the vice president, he called the shots no matter what the main president said, Mashak. But like that incident happened on the bus yesterday. There was been try to do away with a black woman, and the black woman was, matter of fact, that's my neighbor. I had to move out of the house, 712 Grand Traverse Street. The house is still there. Well, and then she had a baby time. They got married to a preacher. I was really just a first lady, and they gonna call themselves but the baby done grow up, and it was gonna be a catastrophe on a Sunday. They tried to knock the bus over the ramp down the expressway, and there'd be so many people killed, and people like that ain't nothing. Then the bus act like it ain't nothing. That's why I say Martin Luther King he'll show you how to deal with a whole American and all the Middle East and stuff. You don't want no president like, but you still gonna get dealt with. And put that on the record. Stay tuned, New York and all you cartels and the Mexican border and all that other, the brown people's border and all that. Well, come on with it. R.L. Mitchell was through this message too.
Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Good evening. It's hard talking to you all because I don't think I think y'all listen to debate instead of listening to understand. It's a couple of times people have gotten up here and gave y'all information, but you don't respond on that information. Moan, he was sitting up here, and I told y'all that he did not have S1 license, F1 license, A license. F1, S1 is for drinking, and A is for sewer. How can he be overseeing department and don't even have license and don't even have experience. Eagle states that you're supposed to be a professional engineer and he's a civil engineer. How can you question the administration when they come up here when you don't do due diligence and research to find out what's going on and you just sign on to whatever it is? When we go down to Gleewood, and we ought to know this by experience, they don't care about us complaining and how we feel. They care about what's in black and white. And not one time did any of you call the CFO or ask the city attorney about the contract, because wasn't none of y'all except for Councilwoman Carter on this council at the time that that contract was signed. Don't none of you know what's inside that contract? Do y'all know if they can raise our rates like this? Do y'all know if they supposed to come to us and ask us or tell us about how they come up with the calculations of raising our rates? The city, y'all have the authority though to lower our water rates because y'all do the master fee schedule every budget. We pay $6.19 per 100 cubic feet. The city of Flint buys water from Detroit, Gleewood at $10.22 per 1,000 cubic feet. The city gets 7,480 gallons of water, but when they charge us, they only give us 748 gallons of water. When you come on this council, if you elected or whatever, everybody should already know a lot of stuff before they get on here, because you get on here and you make things worse because of the simple fact you don't read up on anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is David Garden. He's not in. Audrey Muhammad.
Yes, Audrey Muhammad, Second Ward. Just want to make sure I remind everyone, new people who came in, meeting on Wednesday at the Gleewood Building downtown, Detroit. They're considering increasing our water rates for the whole city, which will impact each and every one of us. I don't have the flyer up, but I'm sure that one of the council people will read off the Zoom information so that you can join by Zoom. Once again, like I said before, just came back from an awesome weekend in Detroit, discussing from Savior's Day, making our community a decent and safe place to live. That's all aspects of making it a safe place to live. I asked someone on the council, anyone on the council, we need a disaster prep plan for our area. Where are our fallout shelters here in the city of Flint? Partnership up with some churches, and I ain't talking about churches on the south side. Think about your north side residents when we do this. I attended a meeting several years ago, and the closest fallout shelter we had was in the southern part of Grand Blanc. Did not consider the citizens of Flint. We are a part of Genesee County. It was a Genesee County plan. In that meeting, I don't recall seeing anybody from the city, so it's nobody that's here now. None of the people in the administration now was a part of that at that time. We talking about maybe 2013, 14. But since then, I have learned that there was money that have come into this area prior to any of you all, so it's not your fault, but it was also given back. Federal government, find us some funds and get us a disaster plan in place. When we having all of these people on the street, people dying in this cold, that's a part of the disaster plan. Do people have a backup on how they're going to eat if we start to getting snowed in and can't get trucks in. Get a disaster plan in place. I implore you to find a way to help save our city, our residents. Make our community a decent and safe place to live. If you're interested, contact me. I got some of the most awesome disaster prep gurus. That's all they do all day long, and they helped when it was 9/11 with backpacks on their back and helped save people in New York.
Thank you. There anyone, excuse me, next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Claire McClinton.
Good evening again, council. I hope you will find a way to publish the code to get on the call for those who cannot attend Wednesday at 1 o'clock in Detroit about the water rate hike. So many people would love to have a say-so in that, and we really hope the city publish the information. Also, for those that's interested, there will be a room reserved at the library for people to come and observe the hearing. And so that's another way people can get involved. But we want people to call or attend in person. And I'm issuing a challenge to all of the residents who's running for office. You want to be a council person, you want to be the mayor, you want to be a state rep, you want to be a Senate, state senator, you want to be the governor, you want to go to Washington and be a congressional person, you want to go to Washington and be a senator. Well, I'm issuing a challenge to all those who are signing up to run for any of these offices to have a say-so and have your input about these water rate hikes. And in the past, and we will be publishing those who do and those who don't. In the meantime, we have to look ahead at water affordability plans to help mitigate the stress and the overbearing charges that we're suffering even today before this rate hike. We had put hundreds of petition signatures out for Flint to get a water affordability plan based on the Philadelphia model. Some of us went to Philadelphia to learn about that plan some years ago. Huey Newsom was the financial person for the city. He was at that conference to learn how to do water affordability for cities. And so you have had in the last month or so, the head of the water department, and all you do is give statistics about how many people water cut off. It's the same old, same old. Come on, let's get some fire in this city. Do something forward thinking. Other places have done it. And we can do it too. We can't keep just piling on debt to residents and expect it, and then they lose their water rights, and then they lose their home, and the cycle continues. Let's break the cycle. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you said that was the last public speaker, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. It is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one, I will go ahead and take my time. I do want to bring back attention to what Ms. Audrey Muhammad said, that there will be a meeting 1 o'clock on Wednesday with GLEWA. They will discuss water rates. This not only affects Flint, but it's going to affect some closer in that area. If you would like to go in person, 1 o'clock on this Wednesday, 735 Randolph Street in Detroit is the address. If you are not able to go to 735 Randolph Street in Detroit at 1 p.m. to attend the GLEWA meeting to hear about what is happening with our water and then possibly trying to raise water rates, then you can join via Zoom. And that meeting ID number is 896-432-7201. 896-643-267201 is the meeting ID number. There's a passcode associated with the meeting, and that passcode is 268980. Once again, the passcode associated with the meeting is 268980. For those watching, you can always just rewind it back to catch that information. And if I heard Ms. Claire McClinton correctly, the Flint Public Library will be offering an opportunity for residents to go and sit in a room together and watch the meeting and attend the meeting as well. So that's Flint Public Library will give you an opportunity at 1 p.m. to watch via Zoom. But if you want to go in person, 1 p.m., 735 Randolph Street in Detroit. I think that will be my time, so we can move on. I will accept a motion for the consent agenda. Councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. And this is going to be consisting of the presentation of minutes, petitions, and communications as well. Are there any separations? Seeing as how there are
Madam
no
Chair.
separate, oh, okay, somebody, okay.
I am asking someone on council to please separate the liquor license.
Absolutely, I'll go ahead and separate that. The license 260067 liquor license request Casamigos LLC 2804 Richfield Road, Ward 3 is going to be separated. Are there any other separations? Seeing as how there are no other separations, this is the roll call vote to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis? He is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. The consent agenda has been approved by the City Council. Moving on to licenses, 260067 liquor license request, Casa Amigos LLC, 2804 Richfield Road, Ward 3. I believe this was separated by the clerk. Before we ask what is the pleasure of the body, Madam Clerk, would you please explain the separation?
So I asked that this item be separated. I'm sure that some members might not be familiar with the liquor license process because we don't really get as many as we used to. So basically, they do not appear on a committee. They generate in the council meeting. Copies of the license is only given to the person whose ward the license is in. However, part of the process for local approval could include a public hearing. So I'm asking council to postpone this to the next council meeting so that I can verify whether or not a public hearing needs to be scheduled, which could then be added onto that next council meeting agenda.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. If I heard you correctly, the reason that this liquor license is automatically generated here in council is because it is standard procedure. They do not normally go through committees first. However, the ward that is having the business request the liquor license, they also get a copy of that liquor license and that request. And you are asking us to go ahead and postpone it because you want to make sure that, you, as in leave it here until the next council meeting, because you want to make sure that you are trying to decide if a public hearing is supposed to be held or not, correct?
That's correct.
All right, I will entertain a motion to leave this here in council. There's a motion by the councilman in the 1st Ward to leave this here in council, supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Yes. Vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. License 260067, liquor license, request for Casa Amigos LLC, 2804 Richfield Road, Ward 3, it is staying in council until next council. It is now time for our 2 discussion items. Both are going to be 3 minutes apiece. Ms. Priestley, I believe you requested your discussion item first. You have the floor.
Yes, I want to make sure that all council members have looked at their email from the Michigan Municipal League about the rezoning packet legislation that was introduced into the State House last week. I was actually at the league while the press conference was going on, and everybody in that meeting was up in arms over their preemptive of our rights to say what goes on and what we want in our community. Some of the things that are in this package is prohibiting, requiring a minimum lot size or a lot size greater than 1,500 square foot for detached single-family residences. And then another thing is that it prohibits a minimum parcel size greater than 1,500 square foot for detached single-family residences. There's also questions about what kind of studies and when the timing of those are required when somebody's building a property. And also one of the other things is that it automatically allows duplexes to be built. It also allows mobile homes to be in any part of the city, which we do not allow them in Genesee County on residential property. And also that they mandates parking requirements at no more than 1 space per dwelling unit. So if you have a branch off for another car in your driveway, that would be prohibited. Now, my personal feeling is that we in Flint know what we want in the city. The residents have their input into all zoning decisions, and the state is taking that away from us. So I'm going to encourage all of my council members to please sign the petition that is in the link in our email to oppose these bills. And I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to respond to the discussion item? To her discussion. Seeing as how there's no one who would like to respond, I will go ahead and state, please see my special affairs public comment for the, thank you.
It's basically the same thing.
Thank you, Councilwoman Priestley. With that said, we'll go ahead and close out that discussion item. Moving on to our final discussion item for this meeting. Councilwoman Lewis has asked for 3 minutes to discuss garbage bins. Councilwoman Lewis, you have the floor.
Thank you. And I will also ask to put this on government operations as well. So next week, or excuse me, whenever we have that committee meeting, I will not have to leave early. But I see that there's no one here for administration to talk about this, including our city manager, Clyde Edwards. So we have an issue with these garbage bins. I see multiple bins at people's homes. People have no, it's not a duplex or a triplex. It is a single family home with 3 to 4 bins in their yard. So knowing that priority dropped off 1 per resident, if you have 3 to 4 bins, that means that you stole it. And that's a problem. And so I have some residents reaching out to me saying that A, either their bins were stole, or B, they moved into a house and the bins were not there. And so we need to address this. And I remember administration saying that, that with these bins, they can scan them and they all have unique serial numbers. Well, if that is the case, we should be able to scan those bins. If priority is picking up waste and you see 3 bins out in this single family house, that should trigger priority to scan the bins and see where those other 2 bins belong. So we just want to make sure that we are being a good steward of the city's resources and that we hear from administration, which is currently not here. So, so I will yield the rest of my time, but just want to emphasize the importance of when people steal bins, we pay. And so we want to make sure that we are, that we're being good stewards of the city's money. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to comment at this time? I will go ahead and take some time. Councilwoman Lewis, I would like to point out that at our committee meeting where this was originally discussed as requested as a discussion item, that the members of the administration came and sat before us. Mr. Arnold Brown actually came and spoke specifically to your discussion item. If you want to take a look at the committee meeting that we just had last week, they were here. They spoke specifically to it. They spoke about everything that you just questioned. So please feel free to go ahead and review that meeting because we did have them here for your discussion item. They did speak to your discussion item. With that said, we'll go ahead and close out this discussion item. And that was the last item for us on this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. There's a motion to adjourn by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The time is now 6:47 p.m. Monday, February 23rd. I hereby adjourn this Flint City Council meeting.